Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremaine and this is my review of the Have and Have Nots. If you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe to me. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. And I'll also provide all of my social media links, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those good things. Join me on there too and you'll see all of the latest news and information that I provide. Entertainment news, history, all sorts of crazy shit. You know, anything I think that's informative or fun for you, I post it for people to watch. But right now, you're here for the Have and Have Nots. This is Season 5, Episode 4, An Evil Soul, and we later find out the title of the episode refers to Veronica, but it could also refer to Jim. But Jeffrey calls Veronica an evil soul. So my first note, and I actually don't have a lot of notes for this episode because if you're a fan of the Have and Have Nots, you know that they typically have really long episodes. Not episodes, you have really long scenes. And so it just drags on and on and on, and they talk really slow, and they kind of get their point out till they reach the commercial break. And my first note is Quincy Part 2. Now that Quincy is officially dead, after 4 episodes, because I'm counting one from last season, we've got War replacing him. So War is basically the new threat, the new bad guy. He's sort of like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Benny, I don't know why, if a character is good on the show, that Tyler and his writers make them unbelievably stupid. Nobody's truly good on the show. Everybody does something bad. But, there's bad and then there's worse. So compared to someone like David and Benny versus Veronica and Jim, that's the equivalent of good and bad on the show. War seemed like he was going to be a decent character. To let Benny describe him in this episode, he's a decent guy who looked out for him and Candace, and he just is so dumb. He don't know what's going on around him. He has no street smarts. Benny is Benny. And in this, War thinks that Candace only got $4 million and he wants $1.5 million, and he's given her 7 days to do it. He refused to help her get rid of Quincy's body. He told her, hey, look, you only get one favor from me. I help you get rid of his body, or you get 7 days to get me my money and on you live, because on the 8th day I'm going to kill you. And then as he's about to leave, he decides to pull down the zipper and is like, why don't you come take care of this first before I leave. So, yeah, he's pretty much Quincy. Quincy was more like a hammer, just coming at you hard and threatening. And War is the same way, but with a different technique. So he's just as dangerous as Quincy. But we'll see how it plays out. I don't know how the hell they're going to have Candace get $1.5 million in 7 days, but based on the way this show works, she'll get it. Or something will happen, or Quincy will die. Or War dies, something will happen, but she will get him his money because you know damn well they're not killing off Candace. Wyatt uses P for his drug test. Now, the thing with this is, coming from a person who's not only a paramedic, but, I used to be a paramedic, but you gotta, when they test your P for drugs, it's gotta be at body temperature. And it did not look like, he was keeping this at body temperature. I think you're supposed to keep it under your balls and shit. You gotta try to keep it warm, because if it's not the right temperature, they will reject the test and make you pee again. So just a note, that they kind of did that part wrong. Jennifer was sort of like the main character in the show because she was just going up against everybody. Jennifer had a standoff with Maggie. Maggie got a judge to let David free. And basically, Jennifer gave zero fucks, which doesn't make any sense because she definitely would get fired. She would lose her job when Maggie threatens to be on the phone with the Attorney General if she doesn't get David in 15 minutes, and Jennifer says, use my phone. Maggie should have said, okay, I will. Give me the phone. Instead she backs down. I think it's because it's the black and white dynamic. It's sort of psychological. The writers know that, it's going to make a lot of people feel good that the black woman made the white woman back down. That's just keeping it real. That's just them trying to manipulate the emotions of the audience. And then Benny's new partner, I think his name is Chris, I'm not sure. But he warns him about war, that he's into a lot more than Benny knows. But then Benny goes off to tell him this fairy tale about how great war is. And then Catherine and Jennifer have a standoff. And Jennifer basically tries to get Catherine on her side by blackmailing her, saying she will bring up a class action lawsuit against her father's estate. But Catherine turns around and reminds her about, who she is and how, much influence she has. And so she doesn't give Jennifer what she wants. And then Catherine calls Jennifer a dumb bitch. And, I really felt that way. By that point, I'm like, a smart person would be able to manipulate Catherine and Maggie and all these different people without being abrasive and getting in her feelings. And then you had, I put this note here, you can't see it, but it says David the Pussy Chronicles. So every review I do of the Have and Have Nots, I call David a pussy because he just gets worse every episode. Pussy, I think calling him a pussy is, I'm trying to think of what else can I call him? Because, it's like calling him a pussy is like, what can you call him that's weaker? He is pussy whipped. But what can call him a name? Help me out in the comments. What can we actually call David? This motherfucker is just so fucking weak. And like his testicles have been cut off. He is not a man. He is a puppet. Last week Veronica said, you're not his lapdog. Well, he kind of is Jim's lapdog, and he's hers too. And no matter what they do to him, he just like, just like a little puppy dog that loves you even if you beat him. You feel sorry for the dog because they're being abused, but at the same time, you're like, you got fangs, bite a bitch. And then we got Jeffrey protects Benny by not telling his father that Benny is actually the one who's having an affair with his mother. And then David threatens to cheat on Maggie. Not cheat on Maggie. He threatens to cheat with Maggie. Veronica says, oh, we'll be even. And he's like, no, we'll be over. So I think he can only have one piece of pussy at a time. Jeffrey finds out that Veronica had his Persuado boyfriend, raped in jail. And so now Jeffrey, who has the balls that his father doesn't have, is like, I'm never letting you get out of this jail. And finally, what happens is Benny barges into Candace's house because he wants answers about how she got the money so he can tell his mother so she'll move into the house. But of course, if he tells her mother the real reason how Candace got the money, she ain't going around moving the house anyway. Whatever. But I'm actually happy that we didn't get any Hannah in this episode, because I'm actually tired of the bitch. She wore me out last episode being stupid. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my last review. But when he barges in a house, and then of course he finds Quincy on the floor dead, and he's like, what the hell, Candace? And that was it. It was okay. I'm still waiting for it to be exciting and good. For me to have nots is uneven. One episode I love, the next episode is like blah. And then the next episode is good. So I'm expecting the next episode to be better Then this episode, I saw in the trailer some things that I'm interested in seeing. Benny's reaction to Quincy on the floor, Candace and Jeffrey, talking about him going to the police. So there should be some good things. They're starting to get out of jail, so hopefully they can move forward the storyline. And that's it for the Have and Have Nots. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'm about to do my review next of Stevie J and Jocelyn Go to Hollywood. So hopefully you'll watch that one too. Peace.